McCarthy. I play guitar and sing in Primitive Man.
All right. Tonight was an amazing show, amazing set. Second time I've caught you guys. How's the tour been going so far overall?
Good, man. We're about 5 days in, so it's
Okay.
pretty early on. But so far, all the shows have been fun and played with some good bands and met nice people and seen some old friends. So I can't complain. And
Cool.
being with Bellwitch is cool.
Yeah.
Good friends with those guys. So.
Excellent, excellent. And you guys just released a new album pretty recently. How's it being received?
Seems good.
Yeah?
So far, people are telling me they like it when we're coming through their town, these last few days, and people have been picking it up. So it seems good, man. I mean, read some nice reviews about it. Read some bad ones too.
Sure.
So you know how that goes. But seems to be going okay.
Good, awesome. Tell me, what inspires Primitive Man?
Oh man, personal stuff and world issues.
Okay.
Stuff in America, like the social climate in America right
Sure.
now.
Thanks so much, man.
And yeah,
You consider yourself a political band?
no, we're not political like Doom is or anything.
Okay.
But we have touched on some political issues, but it's
Okay.
like not the whole of what the band talks about. So I guess I wouldn't call us a political band, even though we've talked about some political shit. I think that definitely not a political band.
Okay. Okay.
But we've never been shy about expressing our opinion about it. I just feel like it's just not the most prevalent thing
Sure.
about the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On that note, what would you say is the most prevalent thing about Primitive Man?
I'm kind of all over the place lyrically.
You write the lyrics? Okay.
So in the beginning, I mostly sang about personal issues.
Okay.
So I think that that's probably taken up a majority of the material at this point. This
Sure.
record is at the most social commentary, and and Homes Where the Hatred Is had a little bit of that on it too, which is like
Sure.
an EP we put out
Yeah.
before this. But before that, Scorn was all personal issues. Most of the splits, the songs have been about personal issues.
Okay.
So.
Do you feel there is or should be a place for politics in music and in the scene?
I mean, the people that make the music are human beings like everybody else,
Yeah.
so they should be entitled to have an opinion about politics, yeah.
Okay.
I think that it's fucked up to tell a musician to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like, well, I only do this a small percentage of what my actual life is, so I
Right.
feel like, anyone should be able to have an opinion for sure about
Right.
that,
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
So lately it seems to me that your name, Ethan McCarthy, has been ringing out a lot in the larger U.S. underground metal DIY scene. Just one of those names that you seem to be in multiple projects. I think we probably have some mutual friends that, you help other bands out, help them find gigs, things like that. Why do you think underground metal, DIY metal is important?
I've just found such a home in it, and it's just where I've been in my whole life.
Okay.
And I can't imagine where I would be if I didn't have it, and I know a lot of other people that feel the same way. Can you ask me your question again so I can...
Yeah, just why, so the ultimate question was, why is underground metal or DIY metal important?
I mean, man, like, a lot of people will talk about how, like, they're like fuck-ups until they join the military or something. I was, like, kind of a fuck-up until I found a place with playing heavy music.
Sure.
And to go back to what I was saying earlier, I think it's like that for a lot of people. So I think it's important because it gives kids something to do, and if you pursue that shit, you can do it well into your 30s, like I've been doing.
Sure.
And it's something to focus on and a way to express yourself in a positive way, you know, or to a way to express yourself positively, and so that's why it's important to me.
Sure.
You know, that's
Yeah.
why I think it's important. It's like a refuge for a lot of people.
So,
Just like any music, really. You
Right.
know? I think that just because of the tone and the way this shit sounds
Yeah.
is why it's looked at as like kind of a separate thing. But I'm like, you can apply that idea to any genre.
right. Yeah. So, something you just said struck me, and I think I fully get what you're saying, but I think there's people that are not as in touch with this type of music that may go, wait, what I just heard was this heavy, nihilistic, dark blitz of sound, and you're saying you're expressing yourself positively. And then,
Well, because the alternative is like getting in fights and
Okay.
fucking being a menace.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's more positive than that is.
sure.
You know.
Um,
I mean, some people do both, but for me,
Fair point.
You know, for me, you know, it's definitely helped me stay more level-headed and
Sure.
keep my shit together. Being able to express all the negative feelings I have through heavy music. You know?
Yep.
So,
You find it cathartic then?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, since I was a kid. So.
Yeah. What were some of those earliest influences for you as a kid?
The first record that I can think of that I like knew all the lyrics and the riffs and all that shit was probably Master of Puppets.
Okay. Yep.
I was really young, you know, like third
Sure.
grade or something. And my brother bought me that tape when I was super young because I have an older brother and like 16 years older than I am.
Okay.
And he was listening to heavy music, so I've been like headbanging like Slayer and shit. When I was like 2 years old, you know.
Right on.
But the first album that I latched onto was Master of Puppets.
Okay. Cool. Let's go back to Caustic for a minute. What is your writing process? What was that process on Caustic?
Sorry, 1 second.
Yep.
It's in my blue bag in one of the top pockets. No, it's in my blue backpack.
Oh, what's up? Yo, I've been waiting to talk about this shit for a while. Oh, sorry.
You're such a fucking... All right.
We are so not cutting that out.
Because that's what touring with Belvich is like.
Fantastic.
Fucking dude. All right. So
Back to the writing process on Caustic. Right.
So you know, I'll have a riff idea. Get the fuck out of here, Jesse.
Okay.
I'm not. No, let me just get this shit going. Don't. So, all right. I'll have a riff idea or a concept or something. I'll bring it to practice. Kind of talk with the other two about it, John and Joe, and kind of put it to form it together. So I might have an initial concept or idea, but those dudes really help me
Okay.
kind of get it.
I'm more like Donald Duck.
Make it more cohesive.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'll come in there with like a million fucking just this really big idea, and that'll kind of help me tape right down to this whole
Sure.
thing. So.
Okay.
So that's most of the songs. There were a couple that I'd like pre-written and then shown them, but I'd say 80 to 90% of it was us putting it together in the rehearsal space and all that.
Has that been pretty typical of the Primitive
Well,
Man catalog?
Well, so John and I have always written stuff together in the past with different drummers. I'd pre-write it and bring it to practice. But with Joe, it's been a little bit different in that we're able to like jam more and do things. So it's like change the dynamic a little bit having him in the band. So I think that's why the record turned out the way that it did and why we ended up writing the way that we did for that album, for this album.
Okay. What can you tell me about the album cover?
Well, I did 3 drafts of it before we settled on this one.
So you did the artwork?
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing, man.
Thanks, man. It's just supposed to just show total horror. That's
Okay.
kind of what I was going for, and the ball and chain is just like a significant image of being a prisoner.
Sure.
A lot of the lyrics are about feeling trapped in a situation
Okay.
or feeling helpless, and so that's kind of why that's in there. And, death.
Okay.
A lot of the songs are about death as like a physical being, so that's why that's on there. If that kind of
Sure.
sums it up.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Can I ask you a little bit about your other projects? I want to keep it mostly on Primitive Man, but in particular Vermin Womb, which just completely blew me away. I love that.
yeah, man. I don't know. We don't get to do too much. Put out a record last October. Called Decline. We just did 5 shows with Cult Leader a few weeks ago on the West Coast.
I was very sad that it was all on the West Coast.
Yeah, I would have liked to have done more, but Vermont just doesn't have a lot of time, and those Cult Leader dudes were just trying to do something quick, so we were happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And the 2 guys in that band I played with in a band called Clinging to the Trees with a Forest Fire
Okay.
many years ago, broke up for a little bit, and then started that again.
Okay.
So.
You're in other projects as well.
I do noise under a thing called Many Blessings, like
Okay.
drone experimental noise stuff.
Okay.
And that's it for now.
All right.
I played in Withered for some time, and I played on the last record, but I had to kind of leave Withered because I just didn't have enough time to be able to really devote to playing live with them
Sure.
and doing all that stuff. And so, I don't know, man. I just felt like if I can't do it fully, I shouldn't
Right.
be doing
Yeah, I
it.
get that.
And we're still friends and everything. I'm like really good friends with those guys, but I like to be able to put 100% in everything that I do, and I couldn't do it with that.
Is there, this is kind of big picture about someone having multiple projects, plus you have a job, and you said you're married as well, and I mean, so you have other parts to your life outside of music. Why, and I know lots of musicians do this too, I just find it interesting, why do you do multiple projects? They each give you something different, or?
Yeah, so I mean, Vermin was just fast all the time.
Yeah.
And I write, the subject matter is like focused in a different way.
Okay.
So to me, it feels very different than playing in Primitive Man. And then with doing the noise and the drone stuff, it's the same thing. It just kind of satisfies a different itch
Sure.
that I have. And I try to kind of do different things with my projects, to kind of be able to experience everything that I like to do in terms of extreme music. So that's another reason.
Okay. Cool.
I got a lot of bad feelings, so we'll talk about it.
So, what's next for Primitive Man?
We're going to put a split with someone who I can't announce next year.
Okay.
Early next year, hopefully.
Okay.
And we've already kind of started writing new material already. But we probably won't put out like another full length or anything for a couple of years. We're gonna do a bunch of touring next year in the States and overseas. And that's kind of it for right now. Just really trying to support this new record and get out there as much as we can. We really like to write music, so that's why we've kind of already been doing it. The stuff that we recorded for the split that's coming out, we recorded at the same time as Caustic.
Okay.
So part of the same session, recording session, writing session, and all that stuff.
Was it always a split planned, or did you come up with some stuff that you're like, well, maybe this doesn't fit quite?
No, we had the plan to do the split with them, so we actually wrote this song specifically for it, and we tried to branch out a little bit in it. So it's I mean, it sounds like Primitive Man, but it's kind of psychedelic on some parts, and it's a little different, and it will make sense.
I'm intrigued.
Well, it'll make sense with the band that we're doing the split with.
Okay. Here's some hints there. I'm going to be scratching my head.
I mean, they're a doom band.
All right.
That's all I can really say.
Okay.
The Doom Man from the East Coast.
All right. I'm intrigued. Final question, open-ended. What else should our readers know about Primitive Man?
Well, we really like to do this, so come to our shows and buy our records so we can keep it up. That's really all I got to say about
Sounds
that.
good. We'll throw some when I post this. We'll throw some links to your site, your Facebook, and your Bandcamp, and all of that on there too. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I'm thankful to be able to talk to you and to be out here. So thank you.
no, well, I appreciate your time. I'm a big fan too. So thanks very much. All right. Cool. You got it? Excellent. I really am a big fan.